Welcome to Impact Signals, Social Impact at the Scale of AI. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Sarah.
It's Wednesday, July 8, 2026, episode 67. Today, early warning went operational. Google published hard reach numbers for its crisis AI flood forecasting for 2 billion people among them. The International Rescue Committee challenged the tech industry to build for 118 million displaced people. And in India, an AI weather model called a Nashik cloudburst a day ahead, and schools closed on the forecast. We start with Google, which just published a consolidated account of how governments and humanitarian agencies are using its AI systems for crisis resilience, with unusually concrete numbers attached. Flood Hub now covers more than 150 countries and serves roughly 2 billion people with flood warnings up to 7 days in advance.
What makes this significant is that these are the reference numbers practitioners can cite when arguing for AI-based early warning in their own programs. And it goes beyond floods. Public Alerts carries warnings from authorities in more than 90 countries. And in 2025, Google connected people with crisis information over 10 million times per day.
The deployments are specific. After Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica in October 2025, Google's AI damage assessment assigned preliminary scores to over 385,000 buildings to guide recovery. And the U.S. National Hurricane Center used the WeatherNext model, which flagged Melissa's Jamaican landfall 5 days in advance.
The model is the easy part. The replicable part is the workflow. After February's floods in Colombia, the UN Satellite Center, UNOSAT, cross-referenced Google's AI-derived building maps with radar imagery to assess damage for UN agencies and the national government. That pairing is a template any post-disaster assessment team can copy.
So the headline stands: flood warnings for 2 billion people and damage scores for 385,000 buildings after a single hurricane.
The practical takeaway is to plug in before you build. Check whether Flood Hub and Public Alerts already cover your operating area, and route the damage assessment outputs into recovery planning rather than budgeting for a parallel system.
Second signal, displacement. The International Rescue Committee, the IRC, issued a direct challenge to technology companies, philanthropists, and businesses. Partner with humanitarian organizations to fund and scale responsible AI for the world's 118 million forcibly displaced people.
What makes this significant is that one of the largest humanitarian organizations is standardizing on AI across its whole portfolio and explicitly inviting partners in. The IRC says it now operates nearly a dozen AI-enabled initiatives globally.
The anchor is Signpost, its platform for verified information, which has reached more than 20 million users across nearly 30 countries in over 25 languages. Other named tools include Apprend IA, an AI teacher assistant delivered over WhatsApp, and Follow the Forecasts, a climate crisis anticipation system.
For field organizations, the directive is join before you rebuild. Signpost and Apprend IA are established platforms with users in production. For funders and tech teams, the IRC has named the exact partnership channel for responsible AI in displacement contexts. Take a real displacement workflow to it.
Moving to India, where a forecast changed operational decisions before the disaster. The BharatFS system, the country's indigenous AI-supported weather model from the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology in Pune, detected the possibility of extremely heavy cloudburst-like rainfall over Nashik district nearly a day before the expected peak.
And Maharashtra acted on it. The chief minister publicly warned of a possible cloudburst, red alerts went out for Nashik, Palghar, and Thane, and schools shut across Pune and Mumbai as the system verified. Closures happened on forecast, not on impact. That is the anticipatory action bar.
Same week, same country. The Indian Institute of Technology Mandi switched on a fully operational landslide early warning system covering the entire Indian Himalayan region, with daily risk forecasts through a web platform during the monsoon. The team built it from roughly 26,000 historical landslides in the Geological Survey of India database.
The methodology is the transferable part. A national landslide inventory, the U.S. space agency NASA Open Landslide Catalog, and rainfall from the previous 15 days. No dense sensor network required. Himalayan state disaster authorities can consume the daily outputs now, and managers elsewhere can cite Nashik as precedent when arguing for forecast-based triggers, school closures, and prepositioning in their own standard operating procedures.
One governance note: the AI for Good Global Summit is underway in Geneva through July 10, and the headline act is the inaugural meeting of the AI for Good Global Commission. 44 founding members spanning heads of state, industry chief executives, and UN agency chiefs, co-chaired by Rwanda's President Paul Kagame and Salesforce's Mark Benioff.
For practitioners, this is now the highest-level standing body framed specifically around AI for good, and its first working session sets the agenda that funders and UN agencies will align to. The sessions stream free online. Watch this week's outputs for concrete work streams and funding signals.
On the Disaster Watch, the Global Disaster Alert and Coordination System (GDAX) has Super Typhoon Bavi at red alert in the Northwest Pacific. Winds near 287 kilometers per hour and about 30 million people in Category 1 or higher wind zones as China braces for landfall. It is also tracking monsoon flooding across Chinese provinces, more than 85,000 people displaced. Plus orange alert forest fires in France and Portugal, and Madagascar's long-running drought.
Bavi is where today's early warning numbers get tested. China heads into landfall with 85,000 people already displaced by floods, so warnings have to reach communities mid-response, exactly the forecast-to-action gap Nashik just closed. Also on the radar, Save the Children warns 36.2 million Nigerians face acute food insecurity this lean season, more than 10,000 of them in Borno State at catastrophic risk.
On the calendar, alongside the Geneva Summit, the World Meteorological Organization is running a Southeast Asia Marine Heatwave Services workshop in Singapore through July 10.
The timing tracks the WMO's own data. Its new Southwest Pacific Climate Report finds 2025 marine heatwave coverage was the most extensive ever recorded in a non-El Niño year. If your programs touch Pacific coastal communities or fisheries, that workshop is where the service's baseline gets set.
Funding Watch? The Horizon Institute for Public Service has its AI Rapid Response Fellowship open, one-year full-time placements in U.S. federal government offices working on AI security, paying $170,000 to more than $250,000 depending on track, plus a benefits stipend. The application deadline is July 22.
The catch is fit. This is a placement for experienced AI, cybersecurity, and policy professionals, not a project grant for organizations. If that describes someone on your team, 2 weeks is the runway. The deadline is the real filter here.
The through line today, early warning went operational. Reach numbers you can cite, a Himalaya-wide landslide forecast running daily, and a cloudburst warning that moved a state government a full day early.
The systems exist and the precedents are on the record. The work for practitioners now is wiring those forecasts into decisions someone is authorized to make. A school closure, a prepositioning order, an evacuation trigger before the next red alert.
That's Impact Signals for Wednesday, July 8, 2026. If this briefing is useful, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out at impactsignals.ai and share it with someone working in the field.
Stay ready.